Good afternoon, my paper crafting makers. Happy Sunday crafternoon. There we are. I see myself. We're doing good. We're in the right spot. I always like that, you know. So as you pop on and you see me in your news feed, please say hi and let me know where you are viewing the chalet from. Whoops. I have a new iPad. It's like a new toy. And trying to get set up here. So you don't want to hear me echo. I forgot to turn down the volume. Oopsie. There we go. I think we're good now. We don't need me twice, right? Me twice is kind of scary, let alone just one of me. So once again, welcome. Happy Sunday crafternoon. I'm glad that you guys are here. This is the highlight of my week. So these are the cards we're going to be doing today. We're going to be playing with Regency Park, that suite that's in the mini catalog, along with some new fun folds for me. Anyway, hey Dave. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and jump on in. A few things here. First of all, make sure to like my page. If you found me here, make sure that you hit the like button. I like to have you follow me right along on Facebook and join my community. I do have a group on Facebook as well, which is Dawn's Creative Chalet Community. YouTube, if you haven't already, please, please, please subscribe and hit the little bell. It'll turn black. That will give you all the notifications as I do things a little bit more on Facebook. Hey, Judy. Hello, down in Alabama. How you doing? Hope that you missed all those crazy storms I've been hearing about. Also, check out my blog. It's dawnscreativechalet.com. And after I'm done with this today, what I will do is I will put it on YouTube and I will also feed it into my blog. Now, just to mention that I have a lot of measurements for you guys today. So if I go fast, don't worry. It'll be on my blog. I try to remember to type out the measurements for each card, along with a close-up picture of each card. And also, of course, if you just want to watch the replay, you can stop the replay at any time. So that'll help a great deal. I know for me, I do that quite a bit if I'm trying to figure something out on YouTube. That's the nice thing. We can pause it and then go to step 1 and then pause it, step 2, etc. All right. Also, don't forget, if you see anything that you love that we're using today, make sure to shop my online store. This is the host code for March. Go ahead and use that unless your order is $150 or more. And if it is, do not use the host code. Go ahead and enjoy those Stampin' reward benefits, or as I call them, free product credit for yourself as you check out of my online store. Hey, Kristen, hello. Happy Sunday crafternoon. All right. Also, I'm on Pinterest. Surprise! So if you are not following me on Pinterest, please do. I love that. The more the merrier. Okay. Also, just a couple of things that are coming up here at the chalet as we get into spring. At least I thought it was spring. I don't know what happened, you guys. Yesterday, like 6 inches of snow on the ground. It's crazy. But today, we do have sunshine. So that's a good thing. It's going to melt it all. So thank goodness, right? All right, upcoming events here at the chalet. First of all, Friday, the first Friday of the month, April the 7th, 12 noon to 2 p.m. over at the Ludington, Michigan Starbucks. Join me for a free make and take from 12 noon till 2 p.m. Just come on over. All you need to do is bring yourself, bring some friends, and have a smile on your face and be ready to have a little bit of fun. It's a good time. I'd love to see you guys. And if you want, you can purchase a coffee or a frappuccino and sip and stamp. And then also on Thursday, April the 13th, we have Creative Card Class. That's where you'll make 4 cards with envelopes, and it's $25 or free with the minimum order. And for my April product class, we're going to skip that for April. And actually, I have to skip it for May. In April and May, it's going to be crazy. I'm actually taking some vacations. I know, right? Don't fall out of your chair, but I am. And I'm so excited. I really am, because I rarely would do this. But yeah, in April, I'll be playing in the mud on my rig. And then in May, going to Norway on the Norwegian cruise. So I'm really excited about that. As we do get into May, though, before I go on that amazing trip, on Friday, May the 5th, the first Friday of the month, from 12 noon to 2 p.m., it'll be Starbucks as well. And then the next day, after we have a little bit of coffee and we get energized, on Saturday, May the 6th, starting at 10 a.m. until 2 p.m., is my BOGO event. That's where I take all the retiring products that I have. I price them as I do in the catalog, because what you do is what you spend at my BOGO event, you get a coupon to spend towards your ginormous wish list. And I say that because our new annual catalog will be arriving on May the 2nd, will be active. So with that being said, of course, you know, we as makers love to make a list of wantables. So this will help. You can spend above and beyond your coupon. All you need to do is just pay the overage. And of course, everybody is responsible for shipping and tax. But it's a lot of fun. It's, I think, one of my biggest events of the year. So make sure to tell all your friends and bring a car full. And it's going to be at Amber Township Hall in Scottsville, Michigan. And if you have any questions of where that is, if you're in other parts of Michigan, and if you'd like to drive here, it's worth the drive. I have a lot of stuff. Oh boy. So anyway, just contact me and I can give you some directions on that. And then also, we have all the little things, just to let you know, in case you're loving or you're seeing the projects and things that I'm posting about paper pumpkin kits, and you're having an interest in that, it's a good time to grab up this kit, as we're getting an organizer for these cute little ink spots every single month. Hey, thanks for the hearts. Every single month, we get a cute little ink spot that comes along with our kit. And after a while, you get quite a collection of those. So we're going to be able to recycle our box and use it also as a storage unit for our ink spots. That's okay, Kristen. Not a big deal. In fact, I didn't even notice. I was so focused on You made me laugh. Thank you. Anyway, so if you want this kit, make sure to sign up by the 10th of the month. And that is rule for every single month of Paper Pumpkin. You have to sign up by the 10th if you decide you want it for that month's kit, if that makes sense. So if you want April kit, you need to sign up by April the 10th. Alrighty? Oh, I know how that goes. Me and my fat fingers, I tell ya. Also, I do want to remind you guys of these online exclusives. Now, things that are not available right now, I hear are coming back, so don't fret. I've talked to a couple of you on the phone, and you've had questions about this. Now, I just want to let you guys know that Stampin' Up! Is not going to eliminate a paper catalog. This is just something that they're adding to as an addition of as far as products for us. And it's going to let them be a little bit more flexible with the products that they can offer. And for those of you who were asking, These 2 punches have returned, so they are now available once again. It's the 1 3/4 and the 2-inch circle punches. So they're back in stock. Now there are a couple of things that we're waiting to come back into stock, but they will be returning. But if there's anything that you see at my online store, and you'll see the big header, it'll say online exclusives. It'll look just like this. Go ahead and click on it and you can take a look. Now, if you don't feel comfortable with actually shopping at my online store, I know a lot of you like to call me and place your order, and that's great. I'm happy to do that for you. We can do that. Like I said, if products are not available right now, now Stampin' Up! Has eliminated back ordering any items. So if there is a product that is out, it stays as unorderable until the item comes back into stock, and then they will turn that item number back on, and then we're all able to order all items once again. And this is not only for online exclusives, but that is also for our catalog items as well. Speaking of the catalog, we have this beauty right here. It's going to retire the end of April, along with this beauty right here. And this catalog is also retiring the end of April. So with that being said, heads up guys, this Tuesday, March the 29th, bright and early, I think. I have to figure out the time, because now, I'm not really sure. I'm assuming it'll be first thing in the morning, but never assume, right? Nonetheless, keep your eyes peeled. If you are not on my mailing list, the link above this live, there is a link to join my mailing list so that you get super current information on everything that's going on, not only at Stampin' Up, but of course here at the Chalet. But with that being said, and these 2 catalogs retiring, there's a retirement list, or as we call it, the last chance list, that will be posted online on Tuesday, this Tuesday, the 29th of March. So with that being said, there's a couple of things I want to run by you guys, okay? Whew, there's going to be a lot going on here the next month. It's crazy, but I love it. Like, I am so excited about getting a new catalog, but I always am. I'm giddy like that. I'm like a kid in a candy store with new stuff. So when that retirement list does come out this Tuesday, just to let you know, it's not an active list until April the 4th. On April the 4th, any of those items that are on the retirement list that have a sale price will go in effect on April the 4th. And I believe it's in the afternoon on April the 4th. Don't quote me on that, but nonetheless on April the 4th. So with that being said, when everybody gets a look at that list on this Tuesday, March 29th, I have a feeling that people are just going to start shopping for stuff, especially our colors. So I know I've talked about this before, but I never assume that it's the same people that are watching me week to week. And because I post this on YouTube, I also get new viewers. So with that being said, I just want to give you guys a heads up on this. Once again, red alert! But we're going to have what Stampin' Up! Calls a color revamp. We haven't had a color revamp in I think like 5 years. So what does that mean? Well, they're going to be switcherooing some colors in all 4 of our color families. And some of these colors are going to be retiring for good. Well, maybe not for good, but we're not going to see them for a while. Let's put it that way. So if there are any colors of cardstock, ink pads, ink refills, anything, Stampin' blends. I just stocked up on some Stampin' blends and colors that I use consistently, because once these colors are gone, they're gone, okay? And I don't want to see anybody disappointed. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I was looking at the inventory status report which lets us know as demonstrators what's available, what's not available, when we should expect things to return and that type of thing. And right now on low inventory, the Regals and the Neutrals in the ink pad sets of 10 are on low inventory, along with the Regals and the Subtles in the ink refills that you buy them all as one unit together, all 10 colors. Those are also on low inventory. The other thing that is on low inventory right now, and if you don't have them or anything in these colors and you love them, stock up, because these are retiring, these 5 in colors right here. I'm hoping, and don't quote me on this, but I'm hoping that maybe there might be a couple of colors that may be retiring as in colors, but may shift into one of the other color families. We'll see. I'm hoping, because for me, one of the colors that well, actually 2 that I use consistently is Fresh Freesia and Polished Pink. Like, I love those 2 colors so much. Surprise, right? But with that being said, as I hope that they're coming back, but you want to stock up on all the things, right? Also, as far as, for an example, I wanted to show you one other thing since I have this open. Oh my gosh, where are they here? Oh, here we go. So the stack of the 6x6 paper, yeah, you can see that okay. As far as in the 5 colors that are retiring, if you love these patterns, I do. I think these are the coolest. But anyway, if you want that set of designer series paper in the 5 colors that are retiring, make sure to grab that. Or also, if there is ribbons and things like that that you just love, or some of these other specialty papers, they usually change things up. So with that being said, once again, just keep an eye out for that retirement list on Tuesday, the 29th of March. That's coming up here in just a couple days. Kind of crazy, but true. But yeah, ribbon as well. I know this has been really popular, and I love this. This has been one of my favorite ribbons to use in all 5 of those in colors. But again, with that being said, they're going to go. They're going to retire. So just a heads up on that. And I say, if there's really something in here in general that you've had your heart set on, but you just haven't had a chance to get it, why risk it? Just get it. You know, I feel bad because when things are gone, they're gone. And I hate to see anybody sad. So, and the same with this catalog here for the mini. We're going to have this retirement list come out as well for this catalog. And once again, there are things that just are not going to come back. So, do you feel like being a gambler? I don't know. I'm not good at gambling, so that's just me. But yeah, so take a look at things, make maybe a little list of some wishables that you're wanting, and if you want to wait until the 29th, but even if they offer a discount, I don't know. I'm not sure I would be the one gambling if you really have your heart set on something. All right, so that covers all of that good stuff. If you guys have questions on anything, always feel free to contact me. I'd be happy to help. So anyway, let's take my notes out of the way here. I always have a lot of scribbles and stuff in my books. So this is what we're working with today. This is called the Regency Park Suite. And the DSP is a lot of fun. Designer series paper, that is, by the way. And what I love about this particular suite, it's what we call a double suite. So we have this bundle, which has dies and a stamp set. And then the other bundle has a punch. So let me grab these here for you so you can check them out. So here is Petal Park that comes with this punch. So it will punch out these 3, the set of 3 flowers. I had a brain fart there. Oh my goodness. And then there's Sentimental Park, which has all the really cool sentiments, the mix of the fonts. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I love the mix of fonts. It's just my bag. And then we have, and pardon me, because I've been using these a lot and I have not had a chance to put them on one of those magnetic pieces that I usually put them on, but I've been using them a lot. But I love these. I've been using them a lot, and I really dig this right here. And I should have grabbed some other samples. Darn it, I forgot. But anyway, this little stem right here, you can cut out. You can make your own flowers with the indentation. It will automatically emboss and cut that flower. Or you have this flower right here that will cut out this one. And it's like a two-step type stamp too, so which is kind of fun. It gives you a lot of options with your flowers. So, and then one other thing that I did use on one of the cards, and another demonstrator actually used this recently, and I thought, you know, I haven't used that in a long time, and that is such a cool die. So this is in the annual catalog. This is the Peaceful Moments, and it is a bundle with a die set. So you would need the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. But the die that I did use, and I've already cut it in advance, is this one right here. Now what's really cool about this die is I was playing the 2-inch punch that is back will layer perfectly inside this circle. And of course, you can layer again with the 1 3/4 punch for your sentiment if you wanted to. So you could really build on color with your cardstocks if you wanted to, which I think is pretty cool. I believe the sentiment that I'm using today, I decided not to layer because it was just a little bit too big for the 1 3/4 punch. But anyway, in case you're wondering where I did get that from, you can purchase the dies by themselves, and the item number is 151605, and it's the painted label dies. Okay? All right. Sometimes I forget to cover some things on where I got what, and then later on I have a few messages asking me, so I wanted to try to remember this time. Okay, so I want to give you another look, again, a little bit closer as far as some of the samples that Stampin' Up! Gave us in the catalog, which I love, but we are going to do some fancy schmancy fun folds today with this whole double suite. So here are the cards. This one, first of all, this is going to open up like a, I don't know what you want to call this, like a gate. One-sided gate. Isn't that cute? Love the DSP. And then there is this card that opens up like this. And it may look more difficult than what it is. And like I said, we're going to go step by step on these. So you guys can make them too, because I can't wait to see what you do with them. And then here is the third and final card. So isn't that kind of cute? This is the one I'm a little nervous about to do step by step with you, because it took me a few minutes. You know, my mind, I'm a crafter. I'm not an engineer. So when it comes to anything of assemblage, so to speak, whew, sometimes for my little blonde brain, I don't know. But anyway, we're going to give it a try. I think it'll be fun. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to put these where I'm not going to lose them. Ha. Said no crafter ever, right? And I'm going to get the items that I need for card number 1. There we are. Look at all these little bits and bobbles, right? So like I said, all of these measurements will be on my blog. Oh, thanks, Kristen. You're awesome. In fact, I need to, before I start, there we go. There we go. Okay. Like I'm trying to see comments for some reason. Oh, there we are. Oh, all I gotta do is click on that. That's interesting. And I can see comments right in front of my face. Well, that's pretty amazing. Okay, so first of all, this is a piece of crushed curry cardstock. And I cut it originally at 8.5 by 5.5. Okay, now I'm also going to need my bone folder here. That's going to be needed. Now what I did on one side is I cut off 1.25 inches. That is, where did it go? That is this piece right here. All right. So normally, I'll give you a visual because I know I'm very visual. So again, this is 5.5 by 8.5. Excuse me. Yes, 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4.25. I cut off one end of this 1.25 inches. So you have this piece. I took this piece and I scored it at 2 inches. This is going to be our hinge for your card right here. Pretty clever, right? So we're trying to just not have too much in the way of scrap. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give that a little bit of a crisp little fold there. And again, a little bit more on my card base. This is a piece of basic white. It's cut at 4 by 5.25. This is going to go inside, as I call it, my liner for my card. Whoops, and actually, I'm glad I caught myself. See, I knew. Like, my brain just gets going, right? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take this little strip and we're going to put it to the back of this. Because then it's going to hide it, so to speak. You guys will see what I mean in a second if you're like, eh? So we're going to go ahead. We're going to do that right now, okay? So I'm going to take that and we're just going to eyeball it in the center. And then we're going to put this inside. See, it's always good to watch me before you just follow along. Because of these things that I can just, oops, have a little oops moment, right? All right. And then we have a piece of white, basic white, and a piece of designer paper. So this piece of white is 2 3/4 by 5.25. This piece of DSP for this layer is 2 5/8 by, did I get that right? 2 5/8 by 5.5. Yeah? Or is it the opposite? Anyway, so they layer right up here like so. And like I said, these measurements are on my blog as well. So I would wait and watch and then go ahead and follow along thereafter. So I'm going to go ahead and take some snail. I almost said snail. That's kind of a mix between seal and snail that we used to have. We now have a snail. I'm kidding. Oh my goodness. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to adhere this to the front of the card base. Oh my goodness. This is going to be a fun live, you guys, I can tell. All right. So there you go. So far, so good, right? Okay, cool. And then we have 2 of these little cute square-ish. And this is cut at, let's see here. The crushed curry is 3 by 3.25. And the basic white is 2 3/4 by 3. You're cracking me up. Oh my gosh. I love you guys. Okay, so what we're going to do with this before we go ahead and layer it, we're going to stamp it. And I need a piece of paper. We're just going to use the back of this, just so I don't get ink on my little background thingy here. And we're going to use this guy right here. In fact, let me grab, because these are photopolymer stamps, it's always good to have a cushion, right? Because our photopolymer stamps, they don't have a cushion. So if you want to make sure you get a nice, crisp, clean image, there we go. That way we're not going to get ink on my piercing mat and have a hot mess, because yeah, we know that will happen if it's me. We're going to go ahead and take Shaded Spruce. I'm pulling colors from our Designer Series paper that we're using. And this requires a little bit larger of a stamp. It's really cool though. So this is going to stamp all the leaves, and then we're going to punch the flowers out. So go ahead, ink up your stamp. And I did it kind of on a, I don't know, kind of corner to corner. And there we go. And that looks really funny, I know. It's okay though. It'll get better. I promise. And then we're going to set that aside. I have these cute flowers right here. So what I did is I stamped it in full strength in the crushed curry. Let me get that stamp here so I can show you guys. So it was this one right here, which is the detail stamp, I guess you want to call it. And then there's also this stamp that fills in the inside. It's what we call two-step stamping if you're new to stamping, which is really pretty cool because you don't have to color. You let the stamp do the work for you, and it's going to align with this other stamp image. What I'm going to do is I want it a little lighter than the original stamped image, which we call full strength. I'm going to go ahead, stamp it off on my scrap paper, and then we're going to go ahead, line it up-ish. And, oops, ooh, I was way off there, wasn't I? Yeah, we're going to go ahead, we're going to stamp it again. And it's art, so, you know, hey, I am not going to fret. There we go. There we are. That's a little bit better. And once we punch it out, it'll look better. It's had one of those days. Okay, so my punch here. And what I also did when I did stamp this, I wanted to see where my punch aligned so I could stamp the same direction. Does that make sense? So when we go ahead and slip this into the punch, it is easy to line it up. Unless you're type A like me, and then I sit there and fiddle with it way too long. Let's see here. We're going to go here. We're going to go here, here. Looks good. Woo! And then they go flying too. There we are. Did I? Oh no. Oh, there he is. I was going to say, uh-oh. They literally did fly away, but no, they didn't. They are right here. So, whoops, easy peasy. And if you are new to our world of stamping, these are really nice as far as storage. They lock into place, which pretty cool. And then also it shows the punch image on the outside as well. So you can locate them easily. All right, we're gonna put that there. And we're gonna take our little flowers here. And we need to do a little bit of assembling with dimensionals. I want to pop these little guys up. So see where it kind of had a break in that stamp? That is to work along with, let's see, I think it was this one, maybe? Or no, maybe it was the little guy and the big guy. And then, huh. Well, no, we're here. Yeah, wherever you want it. There's no rules. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and put this together. And I'm just going to use one-dimensional, whoops, on the back of each of these. Turn my white piece. Oh, hee hee. Kristen, you're awesome. Okay, so that makes it a lot easier, doesn't it? And then we have, I think, this little guy and then this little guy here. There we are. Whoops. And I didn't push them down just because I wanted to make sure that we get them right where we want them. That's close enough. It's good. And then we're going to go ahead and take these two pieces, layer them together. So I need my chenille. I'm going to call it that from now on. I kind of like that. We have a new adhesive. It's called chenille. All right, there we are. And then what we want to do is just put a little bit of adhesive right here for this. We don't want to put a whole bunch of adhesive on the back. Otherwise, we might have an issue with it opening. That would not be good. So we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of adhesive there and line it up like so. Kind of, I don't know, eyeball it in the middle-ish, and there we are. And then I want to go ahead and put a sentiment on the inside. I know most of the time I never do this, but we're going to do it today because I feel saucy. And we're going to use Shaded Spruce. I love this color green. If they get rid of this, it will make me sad because I really, really love this color of green. And then what I want to do is just kind of eyeball it just so that it's not seen when the card is closed, if that makes sense. I love this little, "You are amazing." There we go. So when you close it, and there you go. Card number 1 is complete. And before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead, clean off these stamps before I get ink on things I should not. So what do you guys think of that card? It's an easy enough fold that it'd be easy to use on a lot of our different stamp sets and our designer papers. Okay, we're going to put that there. I'm trying to keep these in order. Haha. We'll see. All right, let's do card number 2. Oh, okay. I had a note on that for myself. I was like, what did I do? Alrighty. Card number 2, which is this card right here. I just love this one. It's so much fun. I'm kind of getting into fun folds, which is very, very unlike me. Very unlike me. You guys know I am a lazy stamper. I admit it. I love to make pretty cards, but I want them easy. So this is a little different for me, but I'm kind of digging this side of me. I don't know. Okay, let's go through measurements on this stuff because we got a lot of little bits and bobbles here. And I want to make sure, okay, that I get them all straight for you. So first of all, oh my goodness. We have things flying all over. Okay, first of all, I used Balmy Blue as my card base. And I cut it at 5.5 by 11. And I don't know if you can see the score marks. Looks like it might be, yeah, there we go. Perfect. So what I did on this, on the landscape side, the long side, of a 5.5 by 11 piece of Balmy Blue, I scored at 1 3/4, 3.5, 5 1/4, and 7. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fold on these marks. Let's see, that one. And that one. And that. So you have your card base looking like that. Easy peasy, right? So far, so good. I have a piece of crushed curry, and this is cut at 3 3/4 by 5 1/4, and it's going to go inside as my liner. A little different for me. Usually it's always white, right? But I wanted more color, and I wanted to pull in the color from the Designer Series paper. I'm going to go ahead and center it-ish, and there we go. Let's see. We have this piece of balmy blue. It's cut at 6 by 3 and scored at 3 inches. We're going to go ahead, fold it in half, and there we are. And this is the piece that's going to go inside like so. We also have a piece. Let's see. This is for my punching later. I've cut 4 pieces of DSP at 1, I believe 1 by 4, I think. Let me double check. Let's see here. I'm sorry, 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. That's right, my brain. 4 pieces of DSP, again, at 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. And what I suggest that you do is 2 of them that has more of a busy pattern and 2 that are more of a mellow pattern, more subdued, subtle. You can see basically what I did is I just used the back side of the same DSP. But if you wanted to mix and match, hey, go for it. These are going to decorate these little pieces. I've also cut 2 pieces of basic white at 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. It's going to help decorate this little flap right here. I've also cut 1 piece of the DSP that matches, and this is cut at, let's see here, 1 at 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And then I do have a piece that I cut at 3/4 by 2 3/4 for the sentiment, but we're actually going to cut it, as you see here. So we're going to cut it down. I just wanted to have a piece that was large enough for my sentiment. And I also used a little bit of scrap in white so I can use the 2-inch punch to cut out a sentiment. So we're going to set that aside. That'll probably be one of the last things that we do. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and put these into place, these 2 and 2, the busier pieces and the 2 mellow pieces. And I named my snail. No, it's seal. It really is just seal. I'm just, you know, being a joker. We're going to go ahead and decorate up the card. And I'm alternating these, by the way. Let's go ahead and we're going to go this route. This will be easier. So I'm going flower, and then the more of the plain blue, and then the flower. And the plain blue. Just like so. All right. It's starting to look like something, isn't it? Kinda. And then for this piece here, we want to go ahead, and I'm going to put, that's right. Let me grab these. I had some extra bits and bobbles. So what I did, kind of like the flowers, I pre-cut, well, first I pre-stamped this stamp and this stamp. I did a stamping off of the same color, and this is shaded spruce. I forgot to put that in with the rest of my stuff. And I cut it with the dies. So we're going to decorate with that. And also I did some extra flowers in advance. Oh, I already had a couple here. Whoops, I'm getting flower crazy. Anyway, for this piece of 6x3 that we did fold in half, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to adhere a 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 piece of basic white. And it's going to be opposite of what you would think. So it's going to open this direction, not this direction. So opposite of a book opening. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere. I was going to pop this up, but I wanted to pop up the flower. So I'm putting this over to the left because I want to have room for my sentiment. And then one of these cute little flowers we're going to pop up with a dimensional. Can you hear Pearl roaming around? I forgot to close the door. Oopsie. And then I'm going to set him aside. And we're going to take this piece. This I cut at 3/4 inch by 2 3/4, but we're going to cut it down. I'm going to grab my Night of Navy ink. It's another color that I'm pulling from the Designer Series paper. And I'm also grabbing the Sentiment Dear Friend in that set of Park, what was it called? Park Place? Petal Park. I don't know why I cannot remember that. Anyway, we're going to stamp that. That's really pretty together, isn't it, with that balmy blue. And we're going to cut this down a little bit. Find my paper snips. Now, ooh, I just found a die. If you're really, really OCD, you can use your paper trimmer. I just figured it looked just as nice, just with a quick snip of my paper snips. And then I adhere these down with, whoops, with dimensionals. Oh my gosh, it's getting crazy here, you guys. Let's see. And we're going to go ahead and attach this to the front. Isn't that cute? And then for the back side, I'm going to attach this piece of DSP. Just because it looks extra pretty. Whoops. Oh, there we go. Good enough. Good enough. And then the other square that you cut, what I'm going to do, I'm going to attach this first, and I'll show you how I'm going to attach this inside the card. So first of all, we're going to need a little bit of adhesive here. Like I said, just make sure that it's opening this direction, not the other. And we're going to close the card. We're going to go ahead and eyeball it in the center-ish. Okay. And we're going to press. And that is attaching it to that inside piece where we want it. And then we're going to put a little bit of adhesive along here. Press. And now you have your fun fold. I have this piece right here that I want to kind of sort of eyeball-ish to where this card closes so that this doesn't pop out while the card is closed. Does that make sense? So I'm going to take this, kind of, I don't know, eyeball it. And I don't want to push it down yet until I know where I want it. See, I want it down just a little bit. Okay, so there we go. Perfect. Okay, so there's that. And then on this, I had a sentiment on the inside, thinking of you. So I'm going to take my piece of scrap paper. This is white. And I think I used the 2-inch punch, I think. And I need the U. Don't let me lose these, you guys. I'm awful with photopolymer stamps. And then I need the thinking of. These things can go everywhere and they blend in so well. And the thing is they are sticky like, so they'll stick to everything. All right, and then I used, I think, yep, I should not have closed this. I used Night of Navy. And stamp Thinking of. And then we'll take U. Now, notice I didn't put them together and then stamp them all together. And the reason being is, I don't know, when I spaced them out with it together, it looked kind of funky. And I really wanted the U a little bit closer to the Thinking of. So I decided it was just easier to stamp it separate. All right, there we go. And I'm going to close this before I have a mishap. Take my 2-inch circle punch. And there we are. And we'll go ahead and we're going to attach this with seal. And there we go. That is card number 2. What did you guys think of that one? Whoops, I want to make sure you can see that if you need the info. Card 2. All right, our last card. And this is the one that I thought, oh boy. Here we, oh, and by the way, I forgot to bling it. I forgot to bling the last card. Let's go ahead and do that. If I can find my good old handy dandy rhinestones and my take your pick tool. We're going to go ahead and put a blingy bling right in the middle of the flower. And I love these little itty bitty guys. They're a lot of fun to add some extra little bling to your card. All right, there we go. Now it's complete with bling. I'll have to add bling to the other one later. All right, card 3. We're cruising right along, you guys. Whoops. Along with me throwing paper everywhere. Okay, so this card here, there's a couple ways you can do it. So we'll see. Oh, thank you very much, Kristen. That's so exciting. You're so awesome. So this card here, I think it could go 2 different directions. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. But for mine, it opens up like this. Now you can also make it so that it will open up and everything will align vertically. But this is the way mine came out. So with that being said, let's see if we can do this again. All right, so there's not as many pieces for this, but it's the fold for me that was a little bit tricky. Oh, thank you, Kristen. Let's see. So this is a piece of Sweet Sorbet cardstock, and I've scored it at, see, first of all, I've cut it at 4 1/4 by 11, scoring it at 5 1/2. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to do that. And then I'm going to show you something here. Let me, oh, I'm running out of room. You guys know how that goes, right? The exploding craft table. Okay, I'm going to need my paper cutter here for just a minute to show you something. Because like I said, I am very visual. So it's always easier when you have a visual, right? So what I did with this is I took a ruler and a pencil. I opened up my card. And what I did is from the point of where I scored it in half, I took my ruler and measured down 1 1/4 inches. So I have this little, whoops, oh my goodness sakes. So I made a little mark at 1 1/4 inches. See that? Okay, after you do that, what you'll want to do is take your paper trimmer. Make sure you guys can see this, okay? There we go. And I'm going to take that mark that I made with my pencil, and I want where this gutter, I guess I call it a gutter. I don't know, that's where my mind is most of the time anyway. I crack myself up. So I'm going to line up this mark that I made at 1 1/4 inches, or 1 1/4 inches. And I want to take this point, so the opposite, going across my card front. Okay, so we're lining up where we made that little pencil mark and the very corner opposite of, what would that be, perpendicular? I was never really good at geometry in school, so don't razz me. But anyway, so we're going to make a score line going across your card like so. So this is going to fold like that. Pretty awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, don't quote me for sure, but I think that this is the way I did this last one. Yeah, okay. Phew. Alrighty. So we have this funny looking card, but what's going to happen, it will open like that. Pretty cool, right? And easy enough. So along with that, there are a couple more pieces that I cut. This is a piece of basic white, cut at 4 by 5 1/4 as my liner. Uh-oh, I just ran out of seal. Uh-oh, just a moment, please. Yeah, that's never a good sign, is it? That means stop. Let me make sure I have another one. Whew. I do. Saved by the bell. So time out. If anything, for those of you who have not used seal, you'll be able to see how easy it is to replace it. All right, let's take this little critter. Oops. There we go. Okay. Good as new, except it's really super sticky. There we are. All right. Back on track. Anyway, once again, basic white, 4 by 5 1/4. And we're putting it inside the card there. All right. And then I have, let's get these two pieces here. I have 2 pieces of designer paper, and what I decided to do is use less busy or more subtle pieces for where these are going to go. And these are cut at 1 by 4, and there's 2 of them. And what I'm going to do, let's just do it right now. We're going to put one here. You can see where this is going, right? And what I also chose is something that did not have a direction on my pattern. Does that make sense? Unless you know which way you want your card to open so that the pattern matches accordingly. I just figured, I just put on my instructions, use a random direction piece of DSP. It just makes it easier. Less thought involved, right? At least in my brain. Yeah. Okay, so there we go. And then this piece of sweet sorbet is cut at 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. We have a piece of petal pink. I always get petal pink and brushing bride mixed up. I don't know why. This is petal pink, and this is cut at 4 by 4 as a layer. And then we have a piece of DSP, and this is cut at 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And these are all going to layer. So we'll go ahead and stick these down. And I used the shaded spruce cardstock, and I cut out one of those really cool circles with that die from the Peaceful Moments bundle. And I'm going to go ahead and stick that down. Let's use dimensionals on that. I'm not sure if I did on the last one, but I'm feeling saucy, so let's just go ahead and add a little bit of pop. And this is also sweet sorbet. I punched out, I believe it's a 2-inch circle. Yep, a 2-inch circle. Oh wait, no. Okay, I'm not going to do that because I need the scrap back. That's right. My sentiment was a little bit too big for the 1 3/4 punch that we would have layered on here. That's right. Okie dokie. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to use thanks again. And you are amazing again. And we are going to also use sweet sorbet to do the matchy thing. You know what? I better clean this because I can't remember if I did. And I definitely don't want blue, Night of Navy, in my sweet sorbet, right? That would be kind of a messy situation. There we go. Better to be safe than sorry. Go ahead, and we're using the thanks. And you are amazing because you are. And I'm going to use this wonderful 2-inch circle punch. And I'm going to glue it right like so, right in the middle of that little guy. Isn't that cool? Like I said, if your sentiment was a little bit smaller, you could use the 1 3/4 punch to layer on top of this and give it some extra color. And then I decided to take one of these cute, oh my gosh, look at that, I'm full of ink. Oh, I didn't think that was going to happen. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take a glue dot or two. And then we'll stick down this cute little flower just to give it a little extra something. And then I also need my rhinestones. And we're going to give our flower just a pop of color, or not color, but bling. And then once we have that all assembled, we're going to go ahead, and what I want to do is put glue on this flap right here. That way I don't accidentally put glue on this and glue our card shut. Ask me how I know that. Yeah, I wasn't thinking the other day. I had my head in the clouds, and yeah, it was pretty awesome. I was like, oh, I guess I can't use this now as the sample. It's glued shut. Great job. I'm going to go ahead and line it up, press down, and there you go. And then I think what I'll do is I'm going to take another one of these cute little flowers. And we could have stamped it, but I had it. So let's go ahead and use it. So we're going to put him right like that. Pretty cool, right? So that is card number 3. So here we go. Card 1, card 2. Can you hear the dog? She's wanting to play. She's like, Mom, you've been playing with stamps long enough. Come play. All right, you guys. So I hope that, whoops, they're wanting to bounce all over here. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today's fun folds. A little outside my comfort zone, but I really had a lot of fun playing. And like I said, yeah, feel free to use these folds with other stamp sets and see what you come up with, because they're pretty easy to use with just about any theme, right? So thank you so much. This was so much fun. I'm glad that you guys were here with me to stamp and create and be makers. And I will be with you next Sunday right here at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And remember to keep your eye out for an email from me. Along with on Facebook, I'll also post those retirement lists, or as we call them, the last chance lists, for both the mini catalog and the annual catalog. So it's going to be some crazy fun going on, right? All right, guys, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next week right here, Sunday Crafternoon with Dawn at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Bye-bye.